Thank you again for being a part of the presentation session today. So what I'm going to do is use this flowchart here to build the number guessing game in Scratch. So I'll head to Scratch, hit create new, and what I might also do is set up. Okay, so to begin our program, when green flag is clicked. Okay, so this is an event, and this will be represented by this block here. The next step is we're going to assign a brand new variable. Okay, so when you hear that variable, let's head down here to the variable blocks. And we can make a new variable. We'll just do that now. And in the session, we call it a comp because that's the computer number. So I'm going to drag that block in and attach it to the when clicked block. Now we've got to set the comp variable to a random number between 1 and 100. And you'll find that here in operators because this is an operation on the numbers that we'd like to complete. I'll drag the pick random and just slot it in there. Now I'll just adjust this because it's between 1 to 10. So I'll just make that 1 to 100. Beautiful. Now, as we move down our flowchart, the next part is asking for input. So what is your guess? So the input that the user, the player, will provide is completed using this block here. And I'm just going to drag that and click it in. Now remember, the input block or the question block has a partner, which is the answer. So we'll come back to this in a moment. And we are going to ask, what is your guess? Question mark. Okay. Next step, we're going to have a branching point, okay? If answer is less than computer guess, say too low. Okay, so we'll head to control. I'm going to use this first if block. Now, if the answer is less than. Okay, so less than. Now, from our session, if you have a look here, this is a less than block. Now, if the answer is less than the variable. So, let's go back to sensing. And this question, we're going to use its partner. If the answer to that question is less than the computer variable, which is that random 1 to 100 number. So to get the variable, grab that in here. So if the answer is less than computer variable, I'll drag that in. So if this condition, if the answer is less than the computer variable, then do something. So let's follow along. So if it is less than, we want the computer to say too low. So this will be some output. So we'll head to looks and you've got the say. So we'll drag that say, says say too low. Okay, so we'll do that, too low. All right. Now let's keep moving down the flow chart. I'm going to talk about this section here in a moment. But let's set up the next condition. Now let me show you a quick trick. If you drag this block out, right click, you can duplicate it. Okay, so they look fairly similar, but what we're going to do is adjust, because down here it says if the answer is less than. Here the condition is if the answer is more than. So let me show you the more than operator. Okay, this is it here. So let's just grab that. So if the answer, see, this is larger on this side. If the answer is larger than the computer variable, beautiful. Now let's shorten my 4 weeks of not understanding how to remove the block. Click it over and then let go. We'll drag that one right in. So if the answer is larger than the variable, the output will be say too low. Sorry, the output will be say too high. So we'll jump back into here, say too high. We can connect that together and we can connect these together. Okay. Now, have a look at this. Now, this is a loop. This is the best way to understand what a loop is. Because if none of these, let's for example say we'll play the program, we'll run the program. The computer variable is 91. Now, if I entered 92, you can see Scratch says too high. Then what happens? So we want to repeat this whole section here. If you have a look, we want to repeat the ask. If you see this block, this is what a loop is, and it's sitting right here. So we're going to repeat, ask the question, we're going to repeat these conditions. Now let me show you how to introduce that into your code. Now have a look. Where this repeat line comes back in, it's going to ask again. So we're going to head to control. And there's a few ways that you can do this. But I'm going to use this one here. And I'll grab that here. Okay, so we can repeat until the answer equals the computer variable. Have a think at how you would create another one of these blocks. Where would you head to over here? Okay, so let's begin. Let's build that. Now you can see I've got the equal here. Where do I find the answer in the computer variable? Well, I know the computer variable is right here, and I know the answer is sitting just here in the sensing block. Okay, so what does this mean? This loop is going to repeat. It's going to continue to repeat until the answer equals the computer variable. Have a look at our flowchart. This is exactly what's happening here. It's going to continue to repeat until the answer equals the computer variable. So I'll click that back in. Now, if we make it past the loop, the only way to make it pass is when the answer equals that variable. We're going to be right down here. So what happens after the loop? We've got say or snap, you guessed it. So let's we'll grab that now. Here we go. Or snap, you guessed it. And that will be the end of the game or the end of our algorithm. Okay, let's give it a go. Run the flag. And for this, I'll just go full screen. Here we go. What is your guess? Now remember, I can see what the number, what number has been chosen for the computer variable, 28. But let's just have a quick play around. If I enter 29, it's too high. What is your guess? Well, let's enter 27. That's too low. Okay, well, let's enter 28. Oh snap, you guessed it. Okay, so I'm going to head to variable and turn this number off. Let's play it one more time. What is your guess? Okay, so we've hit the flag. We've set the computer variable to a random number. We don't know what that is yet, but we know that we're going to keep asking more power. Okay, so you must have been watching this thinking like this is a thriller movie as the power goes down. Anyway, okay, so let's rerun this code without looking at the computer variable, without that being visible. Okay, I'll stop. Let's run it again. Here we go. What's your guess? I'm going to go 45. I like to go somewhere in the middle. Alright, I might halve that. Let's go 23. Too high. Let's go to 11. Too low. Alright, well, I'll head up to 15 maybe. Too high. So think about when I entered 15. Actually, I'll enter, see if I can get the number first. 13, here we go. Oh, that wasn't a number. Let's try it again. 1, 3. Oh, snap, I guessed it. Okay. So when I enter 15, the computer variable was obviously 13. So if I entered 15, was the answer less than the computer variable? No. So it skips this branching point. If my answer was 15, yet the computer variable was 13, this condition has been met. Therefore, it will say too high. Now we head down to the bottom because it's going to repeat again. It's going to repeat until your answer equals the computer variable. Let's talk about what happened when I entered 13. So it asked me again, what is your guess? I said 13. Now, Is 13 larger than 13? No. Is 13 less than 13? No. So we made it back here. It went back around the loop. Is 13 equal to 13? Yes, it is. So then it skips this whole loop and it comes down to the bottom to say, oh snap, you guessed it. A few things. I just wanted to show you just how I created this flowchart. It's using some software called Lucidcharts. Super easy to organize your flowcharts. Really, really handy tool. But yeah, so thanks for coming. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to send an email. My email address is up the top here, chris@nextstep.tech. And thank you for your participation. Thank you for engaging in the struggle. And if you've watched this clip, thank you for following through. Really appreciate it. Nice to meet you all. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.